how to create a routine like an explorer. Hello friends, once again in a new setting. I will have to keep myself moving this time because of how freezing it is. I'm here to do a couple of sets of pull-ups, or let's discuss later what precisely I will do. More importantly than what exactly I'm going to do as a workout, I want to talk about how to create a routine, as I said, like an explorer. Why I want to talk about that is because you often hear me talk about consistency. One thing that's important about consistency, just a second, one lady waving at me. Hello. Older ladies love me. They say that I have a friendly face. Anyway, consistency. What is one of the most basic features of consistency? It's to be able to maintain that consistency regardless of your circumstances, external and internal circumstances that might turn out to seem like obstacles in your way to maintain your consistency, to stay consistent, to keep showing up. So we need to be flexible. We need to be able to adjust quickly, to adapt. And that's one of the main features of consistency. By definition, it wouldn't be consistency if you're not able to maintain it when circumstances change. That rigid consistency is not really consistency. So I will explain why I say to create routine like an explorer, because how I imagine it is that you just view yourself as an explorer would view himself or herself when coming to a new setting and surrounding, and searching what are your best resources, what are the best opportunities for you to stay consistent. What I was saying is that I want to give a personal example that relates to me changing my physical location quite often, and that requires me to adapt quickly to the new surroundings, new settings, my new setting, that is, and adjust myself so that I could maintain my consistency and keep showing up for the things that matter to me. But this is going to be relevant even to those of you who are not changing your physical location frequently or ever. And this idea of maintaining consistency through viewing your routine as an explorer is going to be relevant quite literally even if you're not leaving your room. So don't take this as an advice from some sort of digital nomad who cannot relate to normal people. Quite the opposite. Most of the things that I think about how I could share something that could help those who consider themselves ordinary people, because I think there is no such thing as an ordinary person. And I know it's a little segue, but those who present themselves to you online as some extravagant individuals living luxurious or adventurous lifestyles, I've met a lot of them. I met some of them who are quite popular and famous, and you follow them online. I met some of them and met some of them a little bit less popular, but still aiming to present themselves as living an extravagant lifestyle, and the vast majority of those people are quite lame. So let's just put it out there. Back to the point. This idea is relevant for every single individual listening to this, even if you're not leaving your home. But if you're not under house arrest, I suggest that you leave your home and take a walk outside. Okay, enough ranting. Let's start with my personal example and transfer it so that it applies to everyone. When I arrive to a new location, why I say like an explorer, because when I arrive to a new location, I immediately look around for a couple of things that are going to be anchors of my routine. Again, this is my routine. We will adjust it for your specific case. When I arrive, these are the things that very first day I have to look. I have to look where I'm going to work. By work, I mean opening up my laptop where it's not too noisy. I prefer to have some natural light coming inside, and that will allow me, when it's not too noisy and when I have some natural light, personal preference, that allows me to write a lot, that allows me to focus on my writing. And of course, stable internet connection. All of that is counting under one under one bracket. Next is where I'm going to work out. Of course, I only need floor to work out. I have a free training program, Daily Struggle to Zero. You can find it in the description. So if there are no outdoor workout places, if I'm not able to get a hold of a kettlebell or maybe pay for a drop-in a gym or CrossFit box, I still always have this opportunity to do a good workout by just having a floor. I can always do it in my room. But again, this is personal preference. I've done so many of those zero equipment workouts that now I just have set a standard for myself. I leave that as a last resort because I enjoy, and at this stage I know I cannot be the best athlete that I have ever been because I'm focusing more on my writing and making these videos, but I still want to do something more intense in terms of the stress I'm putting on my muscles. So I want to at least have a pull-up bar and parallel dip bars. Okay, covered work, covered training. The next thing I look is what are the most accessible, most convenient, and yes, cheapest protein sources that I could get around me, around the place where I'm staying. And yes, I said cheapest. I don't know, it seems like on social media now we're all supposed to pretend that we are rich and we are living these lavish lifestyles. I will be quite honest, yes, I look at what are cheap protein sources around me. I always put this off and I'm going to keep putting it off. Let's talk about specifics of my nutrition next time, but you hear this now. Protein source, protein. When I arrive somewhere, that's literally the third thing on my list. Where can I get easily accessible, convenient, and cheap protein source? We've covered those three things, and to be completely honest, after that, I'm all set. I mean, I will anyway, regardless of where I'm staying, I will, when I wake up, go outside for a walk to get some natural light in my eyes and to get some steps in. So it's not something really that I have to look for. I can take a moment and see where is a nice place to walk around, but I got it covered anywhere I go. Now let's now switch to how this relates to you. I am an explorer in this case of my physical surroundings. But you can and should be, and that is the most important part of exploring your inner surroundings. Let's call them surroundings, your inner environment. So if you are always staying in the same country, city, neighborhood, house, that's okay, but your routine is going to be influenced, and that's the biggest obstacle for most people for maintaining their consistency. You're going to meet inner obstacles. Your inner environment is going to change. Your mood, your inner state, things that happen in your life and how they affect you internally. Those are the biggest changes that you go through. Not changing your physical surrounding. You think adventure is traveling the world. Travel inside, see what's going on. That's an adventure. So much more relevant than this, what I was talking, a personal example, much more relevant that I'm also doing and all of us need to do is to investigate your inner environment. I explained what I do with my physical surroundings and how I explore them. You can apply the same to your inner state. If some big change in your life has occurred and you see yourself failing to show up, just as I look for a workplace, workout place, and protein sources, you will look inside and say, okay, what is something that will allow me, that will remove or reduce the barrier for me to get this thing done in my life, and this thing being your work, this thing being you painting, this thing being you learning a new language, this thing being you showing up for your loved ones to have deep conversations with them, this thing being you going for daily walk to increase your daily steps so that you could lose weight eventually. So what What are the changes that have happened in my life? How have I responded to them internally? What can I change in my response? What can I change in the way that I move throughout the day? What can I change in my routine? What changes can I make? Small changes, like making it more enjoyable to do a specific task. So quite literally the same as you investigate your physical surroundings and adjust yourself quickly so that you can keep showing up in the same way you investigate your inner surroundings. Here is an example. A breakup. Everyone is familiar with breakup. One of the biggest struggles, let's be real. Let's be real. One of the biggest struggles that a human can go through, if it's the end of a loving relationship, where there was true love, heartbreak is one of the most painful experiences. So, okay, you have lost all your motivation. Let's investigate what is going on inside. Now I will be sort of generic, but you will be able to apply it to your situation. Okay, what are the things that get me going? Now I cannot count on my partner, my ex-partner now, to get me going, to get me motivated to go through the day. Let's investigate what are the things that got me excited even before I was with her or him. Okay, how can I reintroduce this thing back into my day? How can I reintroduce it, even to a small extent? Is it a particular type of music? Is it a hobby? Is it a food that you like? But let's now also not go, if it's food, let's not go crazy on that food. We talked about indulging in food as a form of escapism. Let's not go crazy. But what are the things that get you excited about your day? How can you reintroduce them so that your routine gets flowing again, so that you're not stuck? You don't wake up and spend whole day just thinking about the breakup that you went through and your heartbreak. What are the things? How can you make that workout more easy for yourself? Let's not decrease the intensity too much, but how can you adjust your workout so that it's easier to start the workout itself? How could you make that guitar lesson that now you don't want to do because you've been heartbroken and you don't care about accomplishing anything with yourself anymore? You feel completely disappointed in life. What can we change in our day to make just getting to the guitar and taking the guitar and starting the guitar lesson? How can we make that easier? What is that? It is exploring. That is a job of explorer. You have to explore your inner world, and you have to explore your close surroundings to see how can you adjust them to help your inner state. It's all exploring. It's constant exploring. I would like to hear some of your examples. Again, what you're comfortable sharing with. If it's too private, you don't have to share it. If it's something that you could share, that maybe someone in the comments will read your comment, and maybe your comment will be more relatable and more inspiring to them than everything that I've said. You can count on that. That's, I think, one of the beauties of YouTube. When the comment section is healthy, there are comments that are more valuable to other viewers than the video itself. And I will say it now. I will now sign that deal that every single video that I ever make is going to be topped by some comment on that video. That every single time there will be a comment that is more valuable than the video itself, I would now sign that deal gladly. So that's why I say let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about routines. Let's talk about how you could explore. Because listen, the reality is that life is unpredictable. Life is dynamic, and you cannot count on sticking to a rigid routine your whole life. That's a boring life, and I will go as far as to say this pretty often a sad life. Maintaining a rigid routine, quite often, more often than not, a sad life. So because you can count on your life being dynamic and changes occurring that are going to shake your routine and challenge you. Let's prepare ourselves. And how we prepare ourselves is we become those flexible individuals, those individuals that you could throw them anywhere and they will quickly find their way. There is a saying in my language for really for resourceful people. They say he or she will not get lost anywhere. Don't worry about him or her. They will not get lost anywhere. That means this is a person who, in any situation in life, they will find a way to accomplish. Maybe to accomplish their goal is not the best way to say it, because it maybe points to a person that is a bit too self-centered. In any life situation, they will manage to find a way out of the situation. If it's a problem and if it's a danger or great misfortune, they will find a way out. And if it's an opportunity, they will find a way to grab it. So this is what I want for myself, but I also want for you to be that kind of person. And I see that as an explorer, because you cannot, if you're a person who just sees what's in front of them all the time and counts on life being the same all the time, you cannot be an explorer, and you can definitely not be that type of person who will find their way through and out different situations. And that's pretty much it. What I'm going to do now is maybe density set again. Not the digital, daily struggle, minimal and zero. My samples of my programs, free samples, are in the description. I will do now. So you have to view the program to understand what is a density set. If I start talking about it now, it's going to be a whole lecture. I will do a density set 7 minutes. Density set 7 minutes of pull-ups, and that's pretty much it. I think it will be enough. I got a lot of steps in today. It's freezing cold and I just want to go inside, to be quite honest, go inside and get warm. So I'm going to cut the video short. There is no need for you to watch 7 minutes of me doing pull-ups. That's it. Subscribe, like, comment. Let's get a discussion going around routine. Ask me if you want me to give you some specific examples or help you with your specific situation. Let's see if I can help. Ask in the comments. Stay strong, love life, never feel sorry for yourself, and stay flexible with your mind and your body. Don't be rigid. Thank you.